It's Tuesday, September 18th. This is Jaguars Happy Hour. And now a guy who Malik Jackson says is as awesome to watch as the offense, J.P. Shadrick.
That's pretty darn awesome, I'll say. Welcome in, Jaguars Happy Hour on this Tuesday. J.P. Shadrick, former kicker Josh Scobee will recap the Patriots game. Plenty to get to today. The big three things, by the way. We'll recap this big Patriots win to start off with. We'll preview next week, as we always do, the Tennessee Titans, our early look at the division rivals. And we'll get social, as we always do, with Josh Scobee, your questions as well on social media. And we'll review some of your stuff that you've tweeted out during the week, because you are a tweeting fool these days.
Well, it's been a fun couple weeks to tweet, that's for sure.
You got that right.
Yeah.
This one takes the cake, though.
Without a doubt. Yeah, just a fun week. Fun week for everybody. Everyone's in a better mood. You can see just when I came in here today, the security guard's in a better mood. The janitor's in a better mood. The secretary at the front desk is in a better mood. We actually talked about it. Winning solves all problems. It's unbelievable.
Winning doesn't suck, they say.
Yes. You would know that from Alabama. Yes.
It doesn't suck.
Doesn't suck
at all. It never gets
one
old
bit.
either.
No.
You know,
I wish I had known that more, but
well, yeah,
it's another thing.
It's a whole thing.
We'll get to that.
We'll get to that. Hey, what a scene here on Sunday, though. I mean, the build-up of the football game outside of this building was huge. Just the rematch, and the Patriots are coming in. They're 0-8 against Brady, and the list goes on and on to the things building up this game. Inside of here, they were not really going there too much. They obviously, during the game, changed the way they approached the game and finished the game than they did in January. But boy, the build-up of this game and the scene on Sunday here, the crowd outside, the tailgating. I got here at 10:30, and there's already people over in the lots over here going after it. It was unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, from top to bottom, it was amazing. From the fans, the tailgating, pregame, during the game, postgame, everything was exactly how we wanted it to turn out, and it was just a fun week. There was a lot of tension built up from January. That's for sure, a lot. And this fan base, especially, has dealt with a lot of criticism and a lot of trash talking from other fan bases, and I think our fan base kind of took it out on them, and that eventually rolled over to the team, taking it out on the Patriots that won the AFC Championship game last year. But it was just a fun day and a fun week altogether.
You had a big event leading up to the game, though, right? Outside, I think I parked near it and walked by it, and there was this massive big white tent out front of TIAA Bank Field, and you were in there with some swimsuit model, right?
She wasn't in a swimsuit, luckily, because my wife was with
me.
Yeah,
so. What did Mel think of this?
Yeah, it was the game day tailgate experience party that I had mentioned a couple weeks ago about this, but it was fun. I mean, even though it was 150 degrees outside, it was still a lot of fun. And they do them each week here, and I'll be there at the Jets game in a couple weeks as well. So if you want to go to gtepresents.com, buy your tickets. It's fun. I mean, free food and drink after you buy your ticket. And
you get to hang out with Josh Scobee.
You get to hang out with me, and I think next time it'll be Brody Jenner. So he's not as good-looking as Camille Kostek was, but you can still have some fun. Hang out with me, get some autographs, and get some good swag for the game.
Did you get a photo with Camille Kostek?
I did not, no. I'm not big on photographs or autographs and random people, but it was fun.
We'll get to that a little bit later.
I beg
to differ.
I have a fantastic story about this one. I think
we'll
you're
get
alluding
to that a little later today,
yeah.
Because I'm calling BS on it because of what you just said.
I have a feeling I know what you're talking about, but I have a good story with that.
Okay, we'll look forward to that coming up in Social Scobee in our final segment today. Football game itself. This Jaguars team, I mean, we knew they were good, but then they went out and hammered the Patriots from start really to finish. There was a little lull in the third quarter there where the game turned a bit, but they never really lost control of the football game, and you see the third down efficiency there. That's the big thing. 10 of 14, they kept the offense on the field, moving down the field and scoring touchdowns at the end. The defense did their thing against Tom Brady. Didn't let the thing slip away. They got some pressure early. All-around team win for this Jags team.
Yeah, I mean, from top to bottom, it was fantastic. Stat-wise, everything. It never felt like the game was in question whatsoever. In the third quarter, maybe, like you said. It might have felt a little bit like the AFC Championship game. They're starting to come back, and if we give them that window, then Tom Brady always seizes to take that opportunity. But it got closed in a hurry with Dante Fowler's strip sack and recovery.
How huge was that? I mean, it's a huge play.
Yeah, I remember looking at someone sitting next to me and just saying that's a huge play. That's the play of the game in terms of the magnitude that it has. So it's a huge play for him. Obviously, he was out the first week with a suspension. And, I mean, Tom Brady is a hard person to sack and a hard person to take the ball from. So I'm sure Dante's going to enjoy this one for a while.
You know, there was all that talk around the suspension and all that when it was announced, and even in the past with him that people were calling to cut him or trade him or get rid of him. But this is why you don't get rid of a guy like this. He can finish a football game.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you can obviously see the talent that he has. At any given point, he's going to be better than the person he's lining up against across, and you can just see with that one play in particular. And that's why you don't cut good players. That case right there. I mean, the Jags didn't have very many sacks against Tom Brady Sunday anyway. And for that one play to be the biggest play in the game, as it turns out, just shows you right there that you don't cut good players.
It's funny, though, how one snap can change the whole thing. I mean, I think he played 19 plays on defense. You know, he was subbing in and out and doing all that. So it wasn't a big percentage of the plays. But his one stat line is that one tackle, sack, forced fumble recovery. That's all it took.
That's all it takes. And sometimes all it takes is for one play for you to make a huge difference. And that's what he did. And with the temperature, the heat that we had here Sunday, they were rotating guys in and out on the defensive line quite a bit. So when he got in, he made his plays count.
How hot was it in the seats?
I can't imagine.
Or were you in a suite? You were in the big suite upstairs. I forgot.
Shad forgot to invite me up to his suite this week. The letter must have gotten lost in the mail.
Okay,
but,
we'll get to that.
But it was really hot. And I kept telling people, this is like the hottest I've ever been on a game day, as a spectator. It was ridiculous. And I think that played a huge factor for the Jags win. And Tom Brady has been known to play much poorly when it comes to the temperature and especially the humidity, because it was brutal. I mean, it's brutal for everyone, but anytime you have a stat that says this player plays worse at certain temperatures, that's going to play into the other team's favor.
Remember the other way around, though? Brett Favre was always great when it was below freezing.
Yep.
Just unbelievable record.
Well,
they had good teams.
I actually played in the game with the Jags that we beat Brett Favre for the first time in a game that was under 32 degrees at kickoff. So
first one.
Another one, yes.
Awesome.
Slightly different than Sunday with it 95 and 400% humidity, because it was brutal.
Did you notice Leonard Fournette was not in the game?
I did. And
you did?
It just
because
seemed like
the offense was rolling without him.
They were rolling, but it seemed like the game plan was a little bit different. And the type of runs that they typically do were a little bit different. But guess what? TJ Yeldon, Corey Grant, they got it done. And even the new guy came in and got a couple carries.
Brandon Wilds, yeah.
And, that's what teams have to do. They have to adjust. The players have to adjust. And more importantly, the offensive coordinator has to adjust for the personnel that he has. And it worked out great.
TJ Yeldon had some yardage. And yeah, you're right. It's a different kind of running, though, with him. You're not going to pound a fullback up in front of him between the tackles. That's really not his style of run. You'd get him outside, let him slash a little bit. Corey Grant, they used him in the passing game outside. Here he goes. He's getting and all of a sudden he's found some missability, which is nice to see, and making guys miss. Those are two guys. You put those two guys together, Yeldon, Grant. That's a two-headed monster. It's hard to bring down.
Yeah, I mean, you can see the stats right there. Corey Grant had 6 receptions for 56 yards. And that's a big deal. If you're a receiver coming in and you have those numbers, you're pretty excited about it. So to have that type of person that can come in on third down, second down, and spell a running back that's getting the ball a lot on first and second down, that's going to make a big impact on the team.
All right, we've talked about the running game. That wasn't the huge story this week. It was the passing game. Blake Bortles, without Fournette now, it was his fourth game in his career without Fournette, and when Fournette's inactive. So 3 times last year in Fournette's rookie season, and once this season. The Jags are 4-0, and look at those numbers for Blake Bortles when Fournette is not available to him. 67% passing, over 1,200 yards. It's 300 a game for you math whizzes out there. 9 touchdowns and 1 pick. It seems like, I don't know if the play calling is a little bit different. You don't have to lean on that running game. You're kind of, I don't want to say forced, but you open things up a little bit more and put it in your quarterback's hands. It seems like, at least from the statistics.
Yeah, and what I see with those stats right there, it just tells me that Blake gets it in his mind that he's got to be better in those games that Leonard is not playing. And he is. I mean, those are amazing numbers for him to have. 9 touchdowns, 1 pick in those games. And, I mean, a really good completion percentage. So Blake's the type of quarterback that when he gets something in his mind and he really knows what he's doing, it gives him more confidence. And I think at times that the team has kind of handicapped him a bit and made him kind of force him to run the ball more and do things that might not give him the ability to gain confidence. And it seemed like with every play and every throw on Sunday, he was gaining confidence.
It helps when the receivers play like they did as well.
That helps.
That was a huge part of this game, the guys coming around. Edie Westbrook with a big catch and run late. Keelan Cole with an unbelievable day. I mean, these guys, we knew they were kind of up-and-coming receivers, but they broke out, I think, in a big way on Sunday.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about this a couple weeks ago, that after Marquise Lee went down, that these guys are going to have to step up, not only on the field, but in the locker room, in their meeting rooms, and be leaders. And it seems like they either listened to us or someone else actually told it to them, because Sunday it felt like they knew exactly what they needed to do. And obviously there were some big plays with the long touchdown from Dede and the amazing catch by Keelan Cole. But it just felt like a different receiving group, and they really stepped up to the challenge.
Not just receivers, the tight end, Safarian Jenkins is involved. Moncrief had a few catches, a couple he'd like back, I think, but they were right there, right on the money from Blake. I mean, this is an offense. If they can keep that going with Fournette back somehow and mix things around, then, I mean, you got the defense to go with it. Who's going to stop this team right now?
They're going to be a tough team to stop. If somehow they can figure out a good mix of giving Fournette 15, 18 touches a game and doing the things he needs to do, and also mixing the ball around to our receivers and tight ends, it's going to be a tough team to stop. And the way the defense is playing, it's just going to be that much more tough.
Okay, we've talked offense. We've talked defense. What about special teams on Sunday? What stood out to you in that, the coverage and everything against the Patriots?
Well, for the kicker, Lambeau, this is the kind of easy game that you love to have. You love to have a bunch of extra points that build your confidence, and you love to have a short to mid-range field goal that you just keep your momentum rolling up until the next week. And Logan Cook had a pretty good game. He had some good punts, got the ball down there, pinned inside the 10 and 15 a couple times. He had the kind of miss hit at the end that you don't like to see, that gave the Patriots another chance to get in range, but obviously it helps out whenever the defense makes a big play like that. Obviously, Logan Cook's numbers, 36.6 net over the season. That's not where you want to be, but that just tells me that the offense is moving the ball a bit. So he's had quite a few punts inside the 20 already.
What's the number you want to be as a punter? 40?
Yeah, right now it seems like the threshold for punters is right around 40, and that's changed over the years. Unbelievably, really. It used to be around 38, but now punters are kicking the ball farther, coverage teams are getting better, so your net average is going to go up. So, yeah, I'm sure Joe DeCamillis, the special teams coach, would like to see that number higher, but as long as they're winning games and they're doing things they need to do, then he's not going to care.
Now, you don't really want to see a lot of long punts from Cook. I mean, that means, first off, you're backed up and you have to boom it and all that, but you're out kicking coverage and all that. they want to place it in a certain area and go cover the thing and not have any returns at all. I think that's the goal.
Yeah, and that's what Joe D is really good at scheming up is directional kicking, putting the ball in places to where you don't have to kick it 60 yards and have them cover 15 to 20 yards to get that good net. And like we said, it's kind of good that his net is where it is. It means the offense is moving the ball. They're punting a lot around the 50-yard line and getting a lot of inside the 20 punts.
Love it. So what was the scene like in your seating area when DD took off down the sideline?
It's fantastic. We had my family, our friends, all the people that sit in our section, and unfortunately we had a few Patriots fans that
really?
They got the brunt of the Jaguar Duval Nation there because I told you last week it wasn't going to be good for any Patriots fan to be in this stadium.
Yeah, because you wore it a little bit last year in Foxborough.
I did. Sitting in that section in Foxborough last year, just dealing with the Patriots fans and feeling that wrath, I wanted to give them 10 times that amount this week, and I did. My wife hated me for it, absolutely hated me after the game. She thought that I didn't give a good example to my son, but I was taking one for the team this week, that's for sure. And I'm proud of it.
Yeah,
without a doubt,
that's
proud
interesting.
Of it. Yeah,
it really. Well, I can't ask you the worst thing you said. Probably.
I didn't say any, bad words or bad things or anything like that. I just told them that, their flight might need to take off a little bit earlier, or if they wanted to get on standby for an earlier flight, that might be a good idea.
Warm up the plane, you said.
Why not?
Okay.
Yeah, just little things like that.
You're a needler. You're not like just a crusher guy.
The worst part about it was the people sitting directly in front of us, a couple, and they had brought their son to the game, and he was dressed in Jaguar gear, and he kept cheering for the Patriots. And my wife did not like that at all, and she was going to say something to him. I had to hold her back from saying something.
Wow.
But,
the Scobee's going
out.
crazy here in the stands. I like it.
We have a lot of pent-up aggression when it comes to losing games over the years, especially to the Patriots. So
it's all over now.
Yeah.
Got him this time.
It was big. It was big for, obviously for this season, but for the past 15 years, 18 years that Tom Brady's played, and the only games that I've lost in the playoffs have been against Tom Brady. So that I've always ended the season in the playoffs against Tom Brady.
How about that?
Yeah,
I didn't even think about that.
And the Jaguars have ended their season many times against Tom Brady in the playoffs. So that was a big win. It had a lot of different ramifications, not just for this season, but for seasons in the past.
Okay, we're going to come back and get your thoughts on the Tennessee Titans. Maybe some Titans memories for you, too.
Oh.
Yeah. We're gonna go there. Tickets to Jags games are now mobile in 2018. Download the official Jaguars app, view, claim, and send your tickets to friends or family before you arrive at the stadium. Remember this week, Sunday, 1 o'clock kickoff. Bring your belongings in an NFL-approved clear bag. They're available at all Dailies locations. And most importantly, and you learned this last week, arrive early. Get game ready for Jaguars football. Visit jaguars.com/gameday. A Tennessee Titans preview when we return. It's Jaguars Happy Hour on the Jaguars Digital Network.
Hi, I'm Tito Beverage, founder and master distiller at Tito's Handmade Vodka. I've been doing this for 20 years, but success doesn't happen in a vacuum. Thank you for helping me move this thing along. You helped me get this thing going in the early days by telling 20 of your closest friends about Tito's. They told 20 more, and it kept growing from there. We wouldn't be where we are today without your support. Thank you very much. Go to Tito'sVodka.com and pick up some Tito's gear. All proceeds benefit our charity partners. Cheers. 80 proof Tito's Handmade Vodka, distilled and bottled in Austin, Texas. Tito'sVodka.com.
Only in Jacksonville can you tour a state-of-the-art hospitality show home before a game. Hi, this is Lauren Brooks. Make it a point to visit the Dreamfinders Home's newest stadium home before any home Jaguars game. Take a free tour and register for a chance to win amazing grand prizes. Dreamfinders Homes will select one winner per home game. Only at Dreamfinders Homes Stadium Home 2.0 by Gate 4 at TIAA Bank Field. Dreamfinders Homes, homes built to fit your lifestyle.
Forley por la parte derecha. Tira, Willie Westbrook, tiene con uno, se va sobre dos, tres, se va, señores, se va ahora sobre la yarda, se va, sigue, y sigue, y sigue Down Jaguars.
Todos somos Duval.
Increíble, señores, el receptor, que el recibidor hizo el pase, escobando 2, 3, 4 jugadores. Y el estadio se está cayendo porque todo el mundo celebra.
The Spanish call of the D.D. Westbrook touchdown against the Patriots. Javier Carrero with the play-by-play there. J.P. Shadrick, Josh Scobee. We continue with Jaguars Happy Hour. I think he was pretty happy.
It seems like it's more exciting in Spanish. I mean, what's Duval in Spanish?
I think they just said it.
Oh,
Duval, right? The
it.
big Duval.
I love it. Yeah. It just seems like it's more exciting, but maybe we need to coach up our people around here, get them try to sound a little more Spanish, because that was pretty cool.
Sound a little more Spanish.
Yeah, why not? Just a little accent to it, but
why not? Indeed.
Either way, it was awesome.
It was very nice, good to hear, and the Spanish broadcast each week of the home and road games for the Jacksonville Jaguars in 2018. AFC South standings now, currently. Good news for the Jags. They're in first place alone in the AFC South at 2-0. A couple other teams at 1-1, and then Houston just looks awful early in the season.
Dragging the Nets down there.
0-2. Oof. Woof.
Love it. Absolutely love it. After everyone's pumping up their quarterback and pumping up their team.
You know, the quarterback might be okay, but it's the five guys trying to block for him that aren't okay.
Yeah, they're struggling a bit, and I couldn't love it more, because Houston's one of my three least favorite teams in the NFL. So, yeah, love it.
One of the other two of your least favorite teams in the NFL, the Tennessee Titans. We look at last year's division standings. Of course, the Jaguars won the division last year, but they didn't have the best division record. The Tennessee Titans did. The Jags got in because of the overall record, and the Titans towards the end of the year claimed that they were the real AFC South champs and all this crap. And then, they'd go up last week, and the Titans had to beat the Jaguars to get into the playoffs. They did that and swept the season series and finished 5-1. At one point it was, maybe could these two play in the playoffs against each other? And here we go with the 99 comparisons and all that. So that was last season. The Titans took both of these games last year. If you're in this locker room now, does that creep into your mind in this week?
Well, anytime you're an athlete, things do creep into your mind, especially something that happened so recently, and the fact that Tennessee beat them twice last year. All the guys that were on this team last year are going to be thinking about that. But at the same time, these are two different teams this year. The Jags are very similar to what they were last year, with some new additions and whatnot, and even better, in my opinion. It seems like the Titans have regressed a bit, especially at quarterback, obviously with their starter being hurt. And, they did win last week, albeit against the Texans, who don't look very good. So I think it's a good matchup for the Jags this week on all phases.
Yeah, you see there on your screen what happened last year. Here's what the Titans have done this year. They lost at Miami in that rain and lightning delayed game week 1. It's like a 6 or 7 hour game or something.
That sounds fun.
Yeah, what a blast. And the quarterback got hurt, and the tight end's done for the year, and the left tackle had a concussion all in the same game.
Yeah.
One to forget. And then last week, without all those guys, they go and win. So there you have it. Blaine Gabbert, 117 yards, a touchdown. And it's here comes, that's the question this week in Nashville. Is it going to be Marcus Mariota coming back from the elbow injury? Can he feel his fingers this week? That'll be a question throughout the week. Or is it going to be Blaine Gabbert again? And Blaine knocked off the Jags last year with Arizona. So I know you know Blaine well. So that's the big, Mariota has a history against the Jags. Blaine has a very short history against the Jags, but a history with the organization, of course. Big storyline this week. Who's the quarterback for the Titans?
I think that'll be a big question and a difference in the game, to tell you the truth.
You think so?
Yeah. I mean, as much as the Titans have not looked that great this year, we can't overlook them. That's for sure, because they made the playoffs last year. They won a playoff game last year on the road.
They did.
So they're not that far removed from being a playoff team that won a playoff game. I do like our chances versus any of those quarterbacks that are going to play. Blaine Gabbert obviously has some ties to Jacksonville, and the fact that he beat the Jaguars last year as a member of the Arizona Cardinals probably still resonates with him, and I know he loved it because we could all read his lips after that game whenever they panned over to him at the end of the fourth quarter. But I think this is going to be a completely different game, and especially playing at home.
He threw a couple touchdowns and an interception. He lost a fumble that was returned by Calais Campbell for a touchdown in that game, Week 12 last year out in Arizona. The Jags lost that one. And of course, Blaine 5-22 as a starter in 3 years in Jacksonville. And
that's not very good, just to let you know.
Thank you.
I played in all 27 of those starts. That's not very good. Not very good. Just I don't know if you know like percentages, like if you're good with math.
It's been a while since stats class. Yeah.
It's not very good. So I like our chances.
The run game in Tennessee, last year Mike Mularkey was the head coach. They lean on the run game a lot there. The two tight ends, the running back. Derrick Henry is the guy. They got Dion Lewis now in the backfield. Who's actually leading the team in rushing right now, not Henry. And Lewis has the only rushing touchdown of running backs this year. Henry's not scored yet. So, and I think they actually used Henry in some Wildcat last week.
Yeah, they actually ran like 5 plays in a row from Wildcat and picked up a couple first downs on it. So that's something that the Jags defense is going to have to account for, and they're going to have to start getting some better pressure on the quarterbacks as well. And I think that's why Tennessee has gone to that offense to try to alleviate that pressure from the quarterback. They've actually only given up, I think, 1 sack on the year, Tennessee's line has. So with how prolific the Jaguars' defensive line is, they're still going to have to play better than they have the first 2 games.
This is also, Mike Vrabel, first-year coach, of course, but he gets it. Like, the starting tackles are out. Your quarterback's out. The longtime tight end is out for the year. We better run a fake punt from our own 33-yard line here and try to get something going. And they did that early in the game last week.
And that's the type of thing you have to do when starters go out. Coaches get a little crafty and do things that they don't normally do. And I think, luckily, that with Tom Coughlin and Doug Marrone and Joe DeCamillis and veteran coaches and coordinators that they have here, they're going to need to be aware of that, and they'll be ready for it. And that's just what desperate people do. You run random plays whenever the normal thing isn't working.
They had to jump start it somehow because there was a feeling they weren't going to be able to move it a lot in that game. And that was actually the truth of it. Quickly, John Osier's favorite part of our conversation with the other team, a look at the other team's specialists each week.
My favorite part, too.
And we start with the kicker
at the athletes,
for the Tennessee Titans, Ryan Suckup in his 10th year out of South Carolina.
The best kicker name in the NFL, by the way, Suckup. Suckup.
Yes.
It's a very good name to say, but also a buddy of mine. And probably the best current golfer in the NFL, too.
Since you retired.
Since I retired.
He was second when you were in there.
He was, by a long shot. But he's a very, very good golfer and a heck of a kicker as well. So he actually hit the game winner for them last year. He hasn't missed this year. Got a really good career field goal percentage. And their punter, Brett Kern, is in his 11th year. And he actually had, I think, that statistically the best season in the NFL as a punter last year. He's a great directional punter, gets the ball off really fast, and he's something that Joe DeCamillis on the special teams is going to be accounting for.
You left out the long snapper again.
The long snapper bends over and snaps the ball.
That's what he does.
That's about it.
We could just leave that down there every
Also
week.
loves to golf, but that's
whatever.
It's neither here nor there.
There you have it. The specialists, just so you know, for this Sunday's
riveting
game.
Stuff, Johnny O.
Tennessee Titans. We're going to hear from John Osier. Senior writer will join us when we return. The Jags and the Titans coming up this Sunday here at TIAA Bank Field. It's Tuesday. Josh Scobee is here. It's Jaguars Happy Hour on the Jaguars Digital Network.
Hi, I'm Tito Beverage, founder and master distiller at Tito's Handmade Vodka. In 1997, we became the first micro distillery in the state of Texas, and we're still making the same smooth stuff after all these years. We're still cooking in a pot still, working with our dogs by our sides, having fun and tasting batches, and I'm still wearing the same hat, even after all these years. Head over to Tito'sVodka.com to learn more about what else we're doing the same. Cheers. 80 proof Tito's Handmade Vodka, distilled and bottled in Austin, Texas. Tito'sVodka.com.
At ViStar, we believe in better. And that means treating people better with friendly, personal service that's kept our members happy since 1952. A smile and personal greeting when you enter the branch. An online or phone chat for those quick questions. And a call center that's open every day. If you believe that great service is better, join ViStar. We never forget that it's your money. All loans subject to approval, insured by NCUA.
You know, I think that he made some really good throws today. Thought he played with a lot of confidence. And, you know, he knows and understands that he has to do that every week. And, you know, he catches a lot of shit. And, you know, today he's going to be okay. You know, everyone's going to be happy. And tomorrow he's going to have to come back and start working because he'll be evaluated each Sunday. You know, and he understands that. And, but again, he did a nice job today.
There's Doug Marrone in the postgame press conference after the win over the Patriots. JP Shadrick, Josh Scobee, John Ozier joins us now.
All right, a couple of points before I get started.
Yes, John.
A, that was beautiful. I mean, the Doug soundbite on Blake.
Absolutely.
It was epic, and I love him. B, I do a lot of it. I do 3 morning shows for Jaguars.com.
We've heard about that. Yeah.
This is my favorite segment. You know why?
Why?
Because there's no way that I won't kill on this compared to the thing that leads up to me, the long snapper graphic. This is fantastic.
You can only go up.
Did you not have a graphic on plants growing?
Well, basically
is that not
the
there?
Same thing. Yeah.
I mean,
well, we figured
the Bo Brinkley Carson Tinker matchup. We're into that.
Yeah, it's like an arm wrestling competition pregame.
All right.
I looked for Brinkley career tackles. I couldn't find him anywhere.
Well, it's fantastic.
He's a bit taller than Tinker.
It's good television.
That's literally all you can say. Well, he might be taller. That's about it.
Let's get back to Doug.
Yeah, Doug on Blake.
Yeah,
I mean, John, this is it's the story of the week. The guy is up for, I think, FedEx Air Player of the Week or something like that. One of those awards, all that stuff. Now, Mahomes might win it. He threw 6 touchdowns. We get it.
Has a shot.
But Blake put together, maybe not statistically his best career game. It's not. But in what it means for this football team, it's his biggest win.
Yeah, and I've been saying all week, yes, it was his best game given the circumstance, but I think what I'm most optimistic or what you feel the best in watching this is it's perception aside, it was not an outlier. It's not like he hasn't done this. It's not like he didn't. It's his 4th straight really good game out here in the regular season. The Buffalo game, you know, I still think weather had more to do with his performance in that game that he got killed for than anything else. But even considering he's 4 out of his last 5 really good games out here. He played really well against Seattle. He played really well against Pittsburgh after that game. He played really well in the championship game. He's stringing a lot of these together so that you don't really think that it was a fluke what you saw on Sunday.
Yeah, it was fun to watch him grow every single play. Even when he had the interception, it didn't feel like it fazed him whatsoever. He still had confidence to go back to the throws and the reads that he knew he should be making. And it was fun to watch. It was one of those games that you want to be a Blake fan and you want to root for that guy because he really played well and he led the team to the win.
I thought it was amazing, and I talked to Logs about this I guess at lunch yesterday. Even with the game, I guess not decided, but about a 10-point lead late, Hackett's still calling like flea flickers.
Right.
Yeah. He called the pass to D.D. Westbrook. He went 50 yards downfield.
Madden out here.
It's one thing to throw with a lead like that. And they'd been throwing those crossing routes. He went bombs away 50 yards down the sidelines with an 11-point lead. He's doing it to Westbrook. He's still throwing. That part to me was more of an outlier than some of the aggressive stuff early. I've seen Nate go aggressive early. He had done it in Pittsburgh last year.
Yeah, sure.
But to be doing that,
it's a 4-minute drill.
Right.
They're
as
throwing the
Log
football.
said, maybe back off that just a touch. Maybe take the foot off the gas just a little bit.
My question is why? I mean, he obviously learned something last year from the AFC Championship game when they got a little too conservative and didn't execute the plays they were running, and it worked out this week. And why go away from that if it's going to work? When it stops working, then move on to something else.
Maybe with 2:30 to play.
The fans loved it. Everybody loved it in
yeah.
my section. That's for sure.
Yeah,
loved it because it worked.
If it doesn't work,
It's not quite as popular when it gets picked.
It is. That's true. But that's the mindset that people have that are conservative when it comes to football. And at times around here, we've gotten a little too conservative when it comes to Blake. Blake likes to be the gunslinger.
Absolutely.
He does. I remember.
Also, it sounds like he might be able to get a job on the Atlanta Falcons staff.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. 28-3.
Yeah, there are situations.
There's
and I'm kidding. I love what they were doing the other day.
Yes.
And I also think what's most notable about what Hackett was able to do and with Blake on Sunday, I think it's just as much. Yes, I do think there were some lessons learned last year, but I think it's just as much that the personnel around Blake, D.D. Westbrook and Keelan Cole specifically, have grown up around him, and Blake is more comfortable in the offense enough to give them the confidence to do what they were doing out there the other day. I still think that had a lot to do with their approach in the AFC Championship game, had a lot to do with maybe not being ready to do that yet as much as being afraid of doing it.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, when that's a different situation in AFC Championship game compared to week 2 next season. So things change. People get a little bit more tentative when bigger things are on the line. But I loved what they did, and as long as it works, I say keep doing it.
Gunslinger Josh.
I like that. Yeah.
Listen, like I was going to say a minute ago, when Blake first came into the league, when he got his coming out party, he got thrown into the second half of the Indianapolis Colts game rookie year.
Yeah.
He came out and threw for 200 yards in the second half, just slinging the ball down the field. And I think in the back of Blake's mind, he wants to sling the ball. He knows he can. So when you give him that confidence and you call a play that he knows he has the option of slinging it 2 or 3 different ways and not just checking it down, I think that's going to help him in the long run.
Were you good with the pick sixes that day, or was that?
I know we lost the game, but
I'm just playing. I was over here.
Still looked pretty good.
And
I had a couple field goals, so that's all that mattered.
To your point, though, he is at his best when he is playing free. All quarterbacks are, but he really is in terms of if you watched him at UCF, when he was at his best, had the run option as well. Would throw off the run, and you got the feeling that, I don't think all quarterbacks are as comfortable with a backyard style, so to speak, as Blake is. And I think the closer you can get him to that, the better he's going to be.
Absolutely.
Like we did on Monday night on Happy Hour with Prisco and Baselli, we talked offense for, 2-3 segments of the show. And when was the last time the offense led like that for that long, and the defense was overshadowed a little bit in this game? They put together a great game, too, and slowed down Tom Brady enough, got to him early, withstood the storm in the third quarter, early fourth, and made a big play at the end with Fowler and did what they have to do to get this win. That's a big game for this defense. Tashawn Gibson shut down Gronk, the whole thing.
Yeah, and it did get lost, and I fell victim to it in what I wrote after the game. It was so dazzling on offense, and, it's the old adage, dog bites man isn't news, man bites dog is news, and the offense doing that against the Patriots was new.
You've never heard that?
You never heard dog bites man?
Nope.
Oh, you're from Louisiana.
Texas.
Yeah,
same thing.
Yeah, they're sort of like
it's right
bump
next
up
to
against
each
close
other.
enough. Yeah.
I don't get the correlation.
but
say it again, John.
Dog bite man, man bite dog.
See, when a dog bites man, Josh, that happens a lot. That's not news.
That's normal.
When man bites dog, that's news. you would read that story.
So the offense doing this is the man biting the dog, is what you're trying to say.
Yeah,
yes.
but
thank you
in
for
the bigger
clearing that
point,
up for me. I appreciate it.
The defense, the further away the game has gotten, the more I've thought about the defense. It is such a base and such a foundation to what this team does that you almost expect them now to do what they did. And when you back off that, you think, well, it's not fair to expect them to do against the Patriots. It was a remarkable performance. It's been the reason that they've won both of the first two games. Tom Brady didn't get a touchdown until they were 18 points down.
Yep.
A huge part of that game to me was late in the first half. We've all seen the Patriots trail in games, 14-0, 17-0. But when you play that team, you're nervous at 17-0 because they're not nervous at 17-0 because they think if we get this thing back to a 7-point lead, it was 14-0 at one point, and they had a chance to get a touchdown and get it back to 14-7. They got to the 11-yard line, and the Jaguars held them to a field goal. All of a sudden, it's 14-3 instead of 14-7. That was a huge moment in that game. It was huge because this defense didn't allow the Patriots to do what they're used to doing, and that happened over and over again the other day. And on that front, there are key moments when you play the Patriots, and the Jaguars' defense won so many of those key moments that, again, we know this defense is good, but I think it bodes well moving forward.
Fun to watch, man, when they're rolling on all cylinders and big moments in that football game. Now, the Jaguars are 2-0. They're 2-0 for the first time since 2006. It's been a while. Let's take a look at the history of this franchise starting 2-0. They've only done it 6 times in franchise history. The last time 2006, I think they were 8-5, right, Josh? You were on that team and then lost the last 3. Was that
right?
year?
That was 2010.
Well, it might have been 10.
But it might have been that year as well. I'm trying to forget about those missing the playoff years.
Yeah, the 04, 06 missed the playoffs. 01 was 6-10 record. And then all the late 90s runs there started 2-0. So it doesn't happen a lot here. That hasn't happened in a while here, in fact.
Yeah, it's hard to win one game in the NFL. You win the first 2, it's a great start. And they have another great opportunity this week and another one next week at home. So it's something that the team can get off to an amazing start if they play well at home. We won 7 in a row at home now. You get up to 9 in a row. It's a fantastic start and just something that I think we all in this room expect for them to do. Mm-hmm. And anything less, and we'd probably be surprised. And we've come a long way since a couple of years ago when that was not the case.
Well, I think the important thing about that graphic, 2-0 start, you have a chance this week. A 2-0 start and the unbeaten start, it takes so much pressure off the rest of the season. It gives you such a chance to play with a little bit of breathing room. You win this game Sunday, and it's entirely conceivable that the Colts could go to Philadelphia and lose. Defending Super Bowl champion, nothing against the Colts, but you're playing the defending Super Bowl champions on the road. All of a sudden, you're 2 games up, 3 games in. And you've done what Josh is talking about, which is further established that you are a very good home team. So all of a sudden, you're establishing more games that you expect to win. Those sorts of things we're talking about are what very good franchises do. They're what teams do to secure home field advantages. They're what teams do to secure themselves a chance to rest at the end of the season. We're way ahead of ourselves on those fronts, but you can't get to those places without doing things like we're talking about in September.
Big start. A lot of football left. 14 to go, in fact, in the regular year.
Yes.
What happened in 03 and 06, Josh? You guys 2-0.
Yeah, Josh.
I mean,
in 06, you did lose the last 3 in 06.
If we could look up that schedule. Do you have it?
Yeah, I've got it right. You lost the last 3.
That wasn't your fault.
All right, 06, December 17th at the Titans, lost 24-17. Christmas Eve versus the Patriots at home, lost 24-21. And then at Kansas City, lost 35-30.
First game was Seattle at home? Was it? Or no,
Titans. 06. 06. The first of the 3-game losing skid to end the season in 06. You beat the Dallas Cowboys. You beat the Steelers to start the season.
Oh, okay.
Then you lost the Colts and Redskins.
Yep.
Beat the Jets. So, well, I won't go through the whole thing, but
You almost
eight
did.
and 5, and then lost the last 3.
That
Josh.
happened, in 2006 and 2010, 8 and 5, and a chance to make the playoffs and didn't. So it just goes to show you that winning matters every single week. Not beginning of the year, not end of the year. It matters every single week. So the fact that the team this year has gotten off to a 2-0 start, it's big. And like you said, it takes some pressure off late in the year, especially playing some road games late in the year, because we play 3 of 4 at home to start the year. And
I think the last 2 are on the road.
Yeah, so that doesn't happen.
Need a little wiggle room coming in.
Yeah, absolutely.
What happened? Laundry dirty this week? All the T-shirts?
What's funny is that I just checked my phone at the break. The guys that DTWD Originals.
Yeah, they give you free shirts. They
right
expect
over there.
to see the free shirts
So
on the air.
They're
it's
in
not
the box.
for like working out at home.
They just sent me a little hate tweet saying like, "Where's our shirt?"
Well, they'll do that now.
But yes, so
they're good at
they're
the
in
hate
the box.
Tweet,
but yes, so shout out to you guys. This is not your shirt. This is Nike. So next week it'll be on. But thank you again.
I don't imagine you paid for that one either, though. So.
That's a good point. Touche there. Yeah.
On that note, John, we'll say goodbye to you. John Ozier, senior writer.
Senior writer.
Goodbye, John. John Ozier. Check his writing. And sometimes he's on in the morning, as he mentioned, 3 days a week. Monday, Wednesday, Friday guy on Jaguars Drive Time. Brian Sexton, Ashton Sullivan, 8:30 the start time. Monday through Friday on Jaguars.com, Jags app, and Jags social media. We'll go social Scobee when we return. This Jaguars Happy Hour on the Jaguars Digital Network.
Hi, I'm Tito Beveridge, founder and master distiller at Tito's Handmade Vodka. In 1997, we became the first micro distillery in the state of Texas, and we're still making the same smooth stuff after all these years. We're still cooking in a pot still, working with our dogs by our sides, having fun and tasting batches, and I'm still wearing the same hat, even after all these years. Head over to Tito'sVodka.com to learn more about what else we're doing the same. Cheers. 80 proof Tito's Handmade Vodka, distilled and bottled in Austin, Texas. Tito'sVodka.com.
Jaguars fans, football is back at the bank this Sunday afternoon with a head-to-head division rivalry. Be there September 23rd to see your Jags take on the Tennessee Titans at TIAA Bank Field. Don't miss out as Jalen Ramsey, AJ Boye, and Calais Campbell defend Duval. Don't have tickets yet? It's not too late to get in the game. Single game tickets are still available at Jaguars.com or by calling 904-633-2000. The countdown to kickoff is on, Saxonville.
From the hold of Brian Anger, left to right. 6:58 and counting. Here's the snap and the placement. Both are perfect. The kick up on the way. And he got it. That's 20 in a row now for Josh Scobee, which ties the franchise record.
I missed the next one.
Yeah, where's 21? Josh, that's my question.
I know I missed the next one because that's still the record.
What year? It was 2012?
Yeah.
What was that?
I think it was 2012.
Was that at Green Bay?
Yeah, 2012. Early in the year, like October-ish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember wearing the big puffy jacket for that game on the sideline,
know.
and it wasn't even cold that day.
It really, not
because I was
for
in
Green
Lambeau, I'm
Bay.
like, I'm going to wear this jacket today.
Yeah, not for Green Bay standards, it wasn't, but for Jacksonville standards, especially Sunday, cool. It was extremely. It was like iceberg out there. So
a tight game. I feel like we should have won the game. Like Andre Branch might have had a play.
It was pretty close. I do remember that.
We
We probably shouldn't have been in the game, but it was pretty close.
Yeah.
Yeah. We had a few overtime games that year. That was not one
Lost
of them.
Lost them all. Yeah. Just thanks for bringing it up, Josh.
Sorry.
That's real nice. A busy schedule coming up at Daly's Place, by the way. Troy 7, September 26th. Darius Rucker, September 30th. Need to Breathe, October 2nd. Tickets at dailysplace.com. You going to Darius Rucker?
I love him. So that's something I got to put on the schedule.
Tough ticket.
I know people.
I heard.
Yep. So hopefully make that one. That would be the one of those that I would definitely go to.
It's the night of the Jets game. Jets game's over. It's that evening.
I might have to do.
It's like a 1 o'clock kick, and then it's 7 or 8 o'clock.
Yeah, I might be doing the little chant, the little Duval for that game.
I like it.
We'll see.
What do you have in your hand, Josh?
Sorry guys. I know I'm not wearing the T-shirt today, but here's one of their hats at DTWD Originals on Twitter. Pretty sweet hat. Camo, Bold City Brigade, Duval Till We Die.
Pretty cool.
Yeah. So go check them out. They sent me a big box of stuff here, and everywhere that I've been going while I'm wearing this stuff, I'll wear them to the gym. Their T-shirts, wear them out around town. I mean, everyone asks me where I got them. They're always complimenting me on every shirt that I wear. So they're getting pretty popular. And I saw a bunch of their shirts Sunday tailgating and in the stands. So they've been doing a great job.
Very nice.
Yeah.
You were guilted into showing off the gear today, though.
I kind of
you weren't going to do it.
Well, I'm
then,
not wearing the shirt.
You, during the break, you were like, they're wearing me out. I better show it.
Yeah, we had a free agreement, so might as well
it's okay.
Put it on. But thank you guys.
Back to the Daly's place. I'm told it's Troy Savan. My apologies to Troy. I hope he's not upset with us. DailysPlace.com.
He's probably not.
Check him out September 26th. That's right around the corner. Thanks so much. Hey, Love for Lily update.
Yeah.
What do you got for us? A lot of touchdowns here.
Yeah. Luckily, what we've been doing is donating a dollar amount per touchdown that the Jags scored this year. So with the 4 touchdowns that were scored, that's another $300 for the Love for Lily campaign for the friends of ours whose daughter was diagnosed with cancer. And an update on her, she's been going through chemo, and she just did some testing to see if she could go through the second batch of chemo, and right now she can't. They just have to get her in better shape to be able to do that, but hopefully that can happen soon. But if anyone wants to get involved with me, and I've had a couple people already get involved and offer to match what we're doing. We're doing $25 for every touchdown. And some people have done more, some people have done less. But whatever you want to do, it goes to this family that could use the help. And any kid that is diagnosed with cancer, it's tough, and especially when it's someone that you know.
It really is. Yeah. And
so thank you, everyone that has reached out to me.
Really cool. The hashtag there, Love for Lily, Lily on the spelling and the hashtag, and check out the website, and you can get all the information there, or hit Josh on social media.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
That's the way to do it. Let's go social, Scobee, now.
All right.
Shall we?
Let's do it.
Let's start off with your stuff this week, starting at the game on Sunday. You said earlier you don't take photos with people. You don't get autographs. But here you are with Zach Johnson at the Jags game.
Yeah.
What in the world?
This was pretty funny. This is what we were talking about earlier. So I was going into the West Club, and with the new ticket situation, the digital tickets, you have to have it on your phone or in your wallet or whatever it is. So we had already passed the ticket on accidentally to a friend of ours, so he had to come meet us down there at the West Club. And we're standing outside West Club, and my wife says, I think that's Zach Johnson over there. And I glance over, I'm like, yeah, it's Zach Johnson. So he comes through the line through security, and I ask him to take a picture. And being the big golf fan that I am and whatnot, and he doesn't know who I am. I follow him on Twitter, whatever. And he just straight up big times me and goes, yeah, make it quick.
Nice.
And I'm like, oh.
Really?
And I wanted to say something along the lines of, no, I'm good. Just keep going. And as soon as he walked off, my wife was like, you should have told him, no thanks. You don't want his picture. But I get it. He had his collar popped, and
I saw that in the photo.
He probably felt a little snubbed for not being on the Ryder Cup team, but whatever.
I mean, he had like a pregame pass thing. Was
I
that
saw he had
through the Jags, or was it through the Patriots?
I'm
who's
assuming.
he going for?
Well, he along with a lot of PGA Tour players live in Sea Island, Georgia, not too far from here. Mm-hmm. And from what I've heard, a lot of them have become Jaguar fans over the years. So, I mean, it's good to have him here. It's great.
And he didn't know who you were.
He had no idea who I was.
You didn't say, hey, I'm Josh Scobee.
I have some mutual friends that are going to let him know about it. So hopefully that'll make him feel bad and enough to, send me a sleeve of golf balls.
Yeah, I was going to ask you if we could have passes to Augusta next year, but no, I mean,
that might be a little more difficult, but
especially since he big timed you. I mean,
yeah.
I don't,
Well, at least
thanks
he
a
took
lot,
the picture.
Josh. For, I'd like to see Augusta before I die. It'd be great. Thanks.
But
that was my ticket in.
Oh, sorry about that.
Unbelievable.
But it was still cool to see that type of person here. major champion, 2-time major champion here watching the Jaguars, because, I mean, I'm assuming he was here to watch the Jags and not the Patriots. So
big game.
Yep.
Brings the big-time crowd there.
Absolutely.
Next social Scobee today. This is Philip Heilman from the Times-Union. With a win Sunday, the Jags will be 2-0 for the first time since 2006.
Speaking of, yeah.
What were you doing back then? He said, I was getting my learner's permit, and you say you're playing in your third year for the Jags. So, yeah.
Yeah, just
right.
Perspective. But it was kind of cool to see that thread that Philip posted, because, I got tagged in a bunch of them of what people were doing at that time. And unfortunately, it's been a long time since the Jaguars were 2-0. But
well, and we're also getting old, Josh.
Yes.
That's part of that, too. I was
my gosh,
06.
yeah.
I just finished my first season with the Suns as the broadcaster across the street with the baseball team.
I was just talking.
I had a full head of hair and everything.
Oh, I don't believe that.
I did.
There's no.
Well, close
maybe
to it.
like
Closer to
three-quarter,
it.
two-thirds full. But
yeah.
Oh man, yeah.
There you have it.
We're not getting any younger.
No, we're not. Social Scobee number 3 today. You talked to this a little bit earlier. It turns out I'm exactly what kind of football fan I hated when I played, and I love it. And then Dustin Carey on Twitter asked you, what kind is that? A trash-talking jackass is what you said you are.
That's exactly.
You want to explain yourself here?
Exactly what I am. I just had a lot of pent-up rage from the AFC Championship game and 12 years of playing in the NFL and dealing with moron fans. And it just so happens that I'm that type of person too. I'm a moron as well, and I like to talk trash. I won't yell at players, that's for sure. If I'm going to be on the sideline or down near the stand, the sideline in the stands, I'm not going to be yelling at players, but I will talk as much trash to the other team's fans as I can possibly get. And I berated New England fans all day long, and it felt amazing. It was amazing. I loved it. And the fact that we won, it made it even better after the game to do it. I'm like, hey, have a safe flight home. Hope it doesn't crash. I didn't say that.
Now, wow.
I didn't say that.
I'm just glad you added the trash talking to the JA part. Wow.
My wife hated every bit of it, too. I mean, she's like, well, you're talking like this in front of our son. This isn't.
She was going to talk to a kid.
Nah. I dealt with it. Man. She didn't deal with it like I dealt with it. So
okay.
There's a lot of pent-up aggression in here that just needs to come out against, especially this week, too.
This week
Titans
with the Titans
fans they don't want me there. Luckily, I'm going to get to the game a little bit later than I normally do, because if I were there pregame, they'd get destroyed. I'd probably just bring in cans of mayonnaise, like Hellman's, and just walk it up to them and just ask them if they want a bite in this heat. It's because that's what I think about Titans
Nothing
fans.
like a good spoonful of
hot mayonnaise.
Duke's mayonnaise or something. Yeah.
Hellman's.
Let's get a couple more in. I've got one for you today. Okay. I had one during the Monday night game last night. Janikowski had a 54-yarder last night, and I remembered him lining up at the Oakland Coliseum in 2012 for a 64-yarder. He missed it short at the end of regulation. We tried to return it, but got tackled. We went into overtime. Jaguars had the ball to start overtime. It was a third down catch by Cecil Shorts. He fumbled it, set up the Raiders at point-blank range, and Janikowski hit a 40-yarder. He was 4 of 5 in that game. You were 3 of 3 in that game.
Yep.
And the Jags lost in overtime in Oakland. I don't know. I just saw Janikowski hit the long one last night at the end of the first half, and just brought up the memories.
Yeah, that picture right here that we're showing. It's weird to see Janikowski in that uniform, because
Seahawks.
I mean, you're so used to seeing him in that Oakland Raider jersey, but. Yeah, that would have been a fun game to win, but back in 2012, I had a really good game. But there were times that happened quite a bit from 2010 on.
Snatching defeat from the jaws of victory.
Yes, where I had a good game and we did not win. But,
How is Seabass? He's around here, isn't he?
He lives here in the off season. We play golf, and, he's much bigger than I am.
Long hitter?
No, he doesn't hit it.
Really?
It doesn't really translate that well, his kicking game, his strength to golf, but he's still fun to play with.
I bet, yeah. He's been in the league 19 years now, right?
Oh, my gosh.
He and Tom Brady, the only 2 draft picks
from
left.
2000, right?
They're the oldest draft picks still in the league.
Yeah. Besides Vinatieri, who came in 4 years before then, but was not a draft
Not
pick.
a draft pick,
Yeah.
right.
So that's nuts. And, yeah, so Janikowski was first-round pick that year. Tom Brady, sixth-round pick.
How about that?
Yeah. That's a crazy enough story in itself.
Wow. Let's finish with a couple of fan questions today. And, boy, they're going deep today. Colby Wacker gets us started on Twitter. Which period of history do you think has a greater impact, the Renaissance or the Enlightenment?
I wasn't the scholar, much of a scholar whenever I was in school. So
really,
geometry really wasn't my subject. I was more of a lunch or PE type of person. So I can't really answer that one.
Well, the Renaissance led to the Enlightenment, so for me it's the Renaissance.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't know that.
At Speedius Redius, how do you maintain momentum during the week? I'm not going to give up my secrets, but bourbon. Go ahead,
I was
Josh.
about to say it. It all depends on the context here. If you're talking about the Jaguars, it means confidence. Confidence brings momentum, and the same thing with lack of confidence, it brings negative momentum. So I think the team is playing well, their confidence is high, and that's just they're gonna be able to ride the momentum that way. And obviously they're dealing with some injuries and starting players going down, but confidence is still high.
Well, I don't think that it didn't specify team. I think
okay.
it might have been asking
momentum.
you
Well,
yourself.
If it's a literal term, you get down a very steep hill and you just roll. That's how you maintain momentum. Like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, just roll down a very steep hill. I'm a very literal person, so.
We thank you for that.
You're welcome.
That's really nice.
My wife loves it.
That's our show today. Social Scobee, we'll get more of these as we go along here.
Maybe some better questions because
you were
Renaissance, Enlightenment stuff.
They were digging deep. They were trying to get into
that was
your
the
head.
first question too. Come on.
And you said geometry is not your subject or whatever you said.
Geology.
What?
Geography?
Either one is wrong.
One of them.
Jags Titans this week. Have a good week. We'll see you here at the stadium on Sunday.
I'll be there.
We'll be there yelling at Titans fans. And throwing
if you're a
mayonnaise
Titans
around.
fan, watch out for me, buddy. Just watch out.
Josh Scobee, our entire crew. I'm JP Shadrick. We'll see you next time. Jaguars Happy Hour on the Jaguars Digital Network.